It's school. That is the one that keeps coming back over and over again. And I wanted to make a video so you would look into and think about when you're going through your parenting plan and you're about to sign it, you need to understand that clause in there about school. Again, that's something to remember. That's something to remember. I love Tampa. Every August, July, as a divorce lawyer, we get these cases that come back to us, and people come and they call and they say, hey, I had this agreement, now there's a school choice issue. We can't agree on where the child's going to go, whether it's going to be public school or private school. And frankly, sometimes the agreements themselves just don't say specifically what's going to happen in those situations. And then a lot of times they do, and they set forth a different process. So it's not abnormal, being a divorce attorney, to see these types of things come up. But if you're going through this for the first time, it is a little bit, it's something that you may not think about. It's something that you may not want to think about during the course of your divorce litigation. You may not necessarily want to go into this issue because maybe you're dealing with a situation where your children are only like 2 years old, or an infant. You're not really thinking about if there's going to be an issue when they go to high school. But there could be, and your parenting plan, which has your time sharing schedule in it, it states what's going to happen when school designation becomes an issue, and if there's an issue between the two parties of if they can't decide on where the child is going to go to school. So that is a little ticking time bomb in some parenting plans that sometimes people say, all right, yeah, sure, the other side, they can have school choice, no big deal, they can have the school zone designation, and then it comes back and it bites them later. Which parent is going to be zoned for the child for school? Which parent will have that school zone of their residence of where they live? That's important to know, because that is a factor that the courts are looking at. And then if it's private schooling, what's going to happen with tuition costs and registration fees and uniforms and technology fees and all these other stuff. I mean, a lot of times people look at extracurricular activities and they go into uncovered health expenses, and they'll spend a lot of time litigating all this stuff, and then they kind of stay away from sometimes some of the issues that might be a big issue in the future. And that's a lot of times school related issues, and those issues normally become, we got another one right over here coming in slowly. We got a trolley. It's a good place to film videos. I love Tampa. So Water Street, it's gorgeous over here. It's beautiful place. Downtown Tampa. Tampa divorce lawyer, big fan of Tampa. Awesome. 2 thumbs up, not 1 but 2 thumbs up. If you know that this is going to be an issue coming up, if in April or May, if relocation or school issue, let us know that. Give us a heads up. Let us know what's going on in your case that might be an issue. And if it's, oh, hey, child is starting into middle school and our specific parenting plan only goes for what happens through elementary school, that could be an issue. Beginning of August is always relocation, school choice issues, determination, ending out time sharing, long distance time sharing stuff for the end of the summer, and that goes all the way up through the end of the school year. So maybe you agreed that the child will go to private school, but it's a K-8 private school, and now the child's going into 9th grade. That's something that needs to be looked at. These are all different things that come up. They come up way more than people think. School determination and school issues, when remote schooling and virtual schooling was an issue, it had a huge influx of cases that dealt with those types of issues. So it is normal. If you're coming back in modification litigation or enforcement litigation, a lot of times it has to deal with relocation. It has to deal with your time sharing schedule. If somebody's not abiding by it, or they're trying to increase the amount of time or change majority designation, dealing with a long distance parenting plan, or if the child's having an issue in class, and if if the classrooms are overcrowded, if there's an issue with one of the teachers, if there's an issue with bullying, if there's an issue in whatever, these types of things come up, and then sometimes parents say, well, it says in my parenting plan for decision making and making decisions that we're supposed to have shared parenting and we're supposed to making the decisions together. But what if we don't agree? What then? So there are some agreements which there is decision-making authority for one of the parents for educational decision-making as well. That's not as normal as a parenting plan that has just straight shared parenting. And a lot of what I'm talking about is in Florida. I'm a Florida divorce lawyer. I do family law cases, custody cases. So I'm talking from a Florida context. That's the nomenclature, that's the wording that we use. We use time sharing, we use parental responsibility, we use parenting plans. That's kind of the big part of all the different children's issues. But one of the ones that becomes such a big issue that keeps coming back over and over and over again, that we see day in and day out, that they call and they say, hey, you know, I went through a divorce a while back, and you know, now I need help with my school issue, especially around as you start getting into the summer months and people are you're getting the school supply list and you're getting to meet the teacher night or whatever, and then you start saying, what does my parenting plan say about this? What does it say? What does it say? So then they go back and they look at it and they go, whoa, I agreed to what? So that's a big deal. You know, that's something that when you're signing it, understand that provision. And I know there's a benefit to closure and a benefit to getting the case over with while you're at mediation or when you're going through the settlement process. And when you're going through a divorce, you get hit with so many different issues, especially if you're dealing with property or alimony and child support. You know, so sometimes it's like the parenting plan, you're like, okay, well, you know, if that's just normal language in there of school designation and one parent's residence is normally designated and one parent is designated for, you know, legal decisions and one parent is again, sometimes parents will look at it and say, all right, well, you know, we can agree to that. That's not a big deal. Maybe in the future we'll be able to work through it. And maybe you will. And 1,000%, there are so many cases where people are able to work through that issue. But I am being honest because this is what I do, I see this issue come up a lot. I see people come back for school-related issues. And it's a lot of times because either their agreement is silent, it doesn't say anything about it if there's going to be a problem, or they have an issue with it and, you know, now they have to litigate it. Now they have to deal with it. So take and pay special attention to those school-related clauses within your parenting plan. Whether you're dealing with the school calendar of the district that the children are going to school in, and then also, you know, that school designation portion of it. And then if there's provisions in there about private school, if there's provisions in there about payment for private school or uniforms, and again, those technology fees, they'll get you. Those iPads are not cheap. So remember, take a look at it, read it, understand it, ask the questions that you have about it. There's a reason why attorneys are there to be able to help you. I myself have talked to thousands and thousands, probably 5,000 people over the last 16 years. I have a bit of information about these types of issues, so you can speak to an attorney. It doesn't have to be me. It can be, you know, talking to somebody and asking them, hey, what's a good idea for this? And a lot of people want to do it themselves. They want to do the divorce on their own. And maybe that's why you're watching this video if you are doing things on your own, and that's up to you. That's your choice. But again, sometimes you need to consult with attorney. That's maybe have an initial consultation or a consultation on something and asking questions about it and saying, hey, I really think school might become an issue. If you have a child that's an infant, you may not know if it's going to be an issue until the child gets into school. It could be third grade and something pops up. You can't decide on an IEP. You can't decide on a 504 plan. You can't decide on whatever it is. Those are things that are important to make sure that you are able to decide. You're looking at the best interests of your child. The judge is looking at the best interests of your child. But sometimes parents don't agree. That's just a fact. That's just a reality that it happens. And sometimes you can get the courts involved and you can file motions and you can, you know, do school choice determination, and that's all things that we do, and that's fine and it's necessary in certain cases. But if you're able to deal with the issue before it starts, that's way more appropriate, and that's a better way to deal with things rather than waiting till there's an actual issue. It's a loud truck, very loud truck, loud mufflers. This is my closing argument right now. In summary, understand the school designation, school choice, school zone, all that kind of good stuff in your parenting plan. Understand it before you sign it, because if you sign it and then later you try to get a little bit of information on it, and that's sometimes just the way it is. Sometimes people sign it and they say, oh, well, I signed it, now I want to try to figure out what it actually means that I signed. And then sometimes people will come and ask us that. Love the trolley. Love the trolley. Tampa streetcar trolley. Love it. It's good stuff. It's fine to come and ask an attorney later after you've already signed it. That's not a problem. I mean, that's, again, it's probably a little bit better to do it before you signed it, because maybe there's something that the attorney might suggest that you put in there. Maybe there might be some revisions that would be better based upon your circumstances. Your circumstances are different than anybody else's. Your child is different than anybody else's. You and your partner came together, had a child, that relationship and that child is going to be different than anybody else in the world. So you have to look at it from that perspective, that your set of circumstances, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Here's another video on parenting plans. I would highly suggest take a look at it. It's about Florida parenting plans, time-sharing schedules, and it's just helpful information as you're going through the process. So thank you for watching Parenting Plans.